My name is Blake Patterson, and welcome to Real Values. On this week's episode, I discuss Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. When seeing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, it is preferable to regard it as a James Mangold picture than a Spielberg production, since the sequel is more aesthetically akin to Mangold's work, particularly Ford vs. Ferrari. Even though many people significantly dismiss Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it is difficult for any director to follow the footsteps of a master like Spielberg, so Mangold wisely directs the kind of Indiana Jones movie he would want to watch as a fan. As a fan of these movies since childhood, I was a little concerned when the Paramount Pictures logo did not dissolve cleverly into the opening shot like the previous movies. However, the Dial of Destiny gains momentum by utilizing its plot lines for competently devised set pieces. The de-aged Harrison Ford in the introduction and the scene involving Toby Jones's Basil Shaw and his obsession with Archimedes' dial is initially noticeable until the acting and direction overwhelm the visual effect. In Jones's present day, 1969, the titular archaeologist wonders about his purpose in a society where the young generation lacks interest in his subject as much as the current crisis revolving around them. One of the sequel's most exciting sequences involves the paradox of an all-American parade and an anti-war protest. These choices in a historical setting and what happens around Indiana Jones inadvertently recall ideas from previous masterworks, Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch and Brian De Palma's Blowout. The writers must have thought about The Wild Bunch when they decided to place this iconic hero with a cowboy hat and whip in the same year as the classic Western about the end of an era for a genre and the outlaws in the movie. As for the Blowout connection, the dynamic between the jingoistic celebrators of America after Moon Day and the protesters reminding Americans of the Vietnam War is slightly similar to the way De Palma places Nancy Allen's murder in front of a large American flag during a 4th of July parade. Both features also confront society at the initiation of a new presidency. De Palma's creative decisions established his commentary on an America unwilling to focus on their nation's problems. Mangold and his writers utilize this moment to convey America's continuous unwillingness to come to terms with itself. The notion of acceptance is central to Indiana's story in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny as he joins his goddaughter, Helena Shaw, a quick-witted Phoebe Waller-Bridge, to prevent the Nazis led by Mads Mikkelsen in a subtle self-portrait of inner turmoil over the modern era from taking Archimedes' dial to return to World War II in a newsreel concerning a missing Indiana after the murders of two colleagues. The anchor person expresses information about Mutt Williams' death in Vietnam and his divorce from Marion. Despite one's awareness of Shia LaBeouf's status, Indiana's underlying ambition on this adventure with Helena is to obtain the dial and return to a time before Mutt enlists in the military to spite him. There is considerable depth in watching Indiana's pain and yearning, but Helena brings the idea of acceptance to Indiana's trauma to move forward during the siege of Syracuse. The unexpected reunion of Marion and Indiana explains their road to eventual solace over Mutt's tragedy. The final credits may not roll against the setting like the previous features, but it is a sweet conclusion to the character story. From occasionally darkened CGI to questions over Indiana's fugitive status in his return to 1969, there are flaws in the conception and execution of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. One could also ask whether brief roles like Ronaldo are necessary for actors as significant as Antonio Banderas. However, Ford and Mangold find substance in Indiana's later years to complement the director's style, even though the sequel may be about Jones moving forward after his son's tragedy. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny also speaks contemporarily as the writer's wishes for society to move forward. Dial of Destiny's message is ironic timing after Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, since it also concerns an auteur's wishes for society to progress amid sociopolitical disconnection. Mangold directs an imperfect but satisfying finale by mixing genuine sincerity with adventurous fun. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great night.